folks, today's video is a request video. So I had a viewer asking how long the batteries last in cinnamon. So what I'm going to do is, it's 2:15 in the afternoon, and I'm going to put this video on time lapse, and every time Cinnamon goes to sleep like this, I'm going to wake her up and I'll see how long the batteries last. If you're wondering who was playing that tune, it was Rocket. Yes, you two are lively, aren't you? Yeah, you're having a lively afternoon. So these are the batteries that are going to be in cinnamon. They're Duracell Plus AA's, alkaline batteries, and there's 4 of them. And as I said in a previous video, I suspect that they won't last that long because Cinnamon's quite a large model, and I was expecting C cells rather than AA's. And I also thought that was perhaps the reason why Hasbro has the pony power down very quickly. It's on a very small amount of time before it powers down if you don't interact with it. So I'll put this on time lapse now, folks, and see how long these batteries last. So every time you see my hand come across to press the button on Cinnamon's back or Cinnamon's mouth, that's to wake Cinnamon up, because Cinnamon goes to sleep very quickly if you don't keep interacting with her. So this time lapse was on for 30 minutes. So it's nearly 5 to 3 now, and I don't think I'm noticing any difference. Cinnamon doesn't seem to be sort of moving any slower. Seems to be acting pretty much the same. So I'll put it on time lapse and see how Cinnamon is after another half hour. So watching this time lapse over, I would say that certainly in the second half I do seem to be having to activate one of the switches to wake up Cinnamon more often. Scout certainly seemed to be finding Cinnamon interesting in this last half hour. So Cinnamon's been on over an hour now, and you think we'll get between 2 hours and 4 hours out of the batteries, Paul?
Yeah, I would guess, yeah.
So I'll put the iPad onto time lapse again, and we'll see what Cinnamon's like after another half hour. So again, not really noticing a great difference in this last half hour. Doesn't seem to be going to sleep quicker, and the movements don't seem to have slowed down at all. So should get easily another half hour, I would have thought, out of the batteries. So straight into the next 30-minute session. The pony has now been on 2 hours, but I'm still not noticing any deterioration in the batteries, not noticing any slower movements or going to sleep quicker or anything. So obviously the batteries are going to last longer than 2 hours. So the pony has been on 2.5 hours now, and I'm not really seeing any changes at all. So I thought that it might be underpowered with just the AA cells, but I've been proved wrong. It's not underpowered, and it looks like the batteries are really going to last a reasonable amount of time. So next half-hour session, and the pony has now been on 3 hours. Again, no noticeable signs of deterioration in the batteries, so it's looking like they're actually going to last at the upper end of Paul's estimation. He thought they might last between 2 hours and 4 hours. Okay, so the pony has now been on 3 hours and 30 minutes. So I'm going to do one more half-hour session after this and see if the batteries have still got life in them and if it can make it to 4 hours. So, done the last 30-minute session and the pony is still up and running. So these batteries have lasted longer than 4 hours of continuous use. So that surprised both me and Paul. Yeah, still working fine, isn't it?
Was that 4 hours?
That was 4 hours, yes.
Right. So that's a pretty good length of life for a set of batteries in a toy, isn't it then?
Yeah, especially when I thought it was probably going to be underpowered. It's not at all. It's funny really that Hasbro has set it to power down after such a very, very short amount of time.
I noticed that when you were testing
It's like about 1.5 minutes and it powers down. I've never seen them do that with anything before.
That would obviously help conserve the batteries there, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, it will. But I just took it that it must be because they're concerned about the batteries running out.
Yeah.
And I thought it was quite a big model for
You mean a lot of mechanical movement, sort of big parts by the motors?
Yeah, and it's like quite a large size.
Yeah.
I am really, really surprised. So that's the Duracell. If you folks want me to carry on with this test
So long they'll last
and see how long they last ultimately, I'll do that for you folks. But what this has shown is that it's not underpowered at all.
No, you're getting a good 4 hours out of a new set of Duracell batteries.
Yeah, for constant use.
Constant use, yeah.
And yeah, there's no problem with the batteries at all.
Yeah, great.
So folks, hope you find that useful. Thanks for watching as always, and see you next time.